Come with me to a place on our planet that holds greater significance than a small spot we are currently zooming in on the map of Norway in Europe. Welcome to Lindesnes Lighthouse. It is the southernmost point on the mainland in Norway. The area is so much more than just a lighthouse that illuminates the darkness. Lindesnes is a beacon in many ways. Weather, sunshine and calm, darkness and hurricanes. Life in many ways. It's also life and death along the coastline. It's a meeting place for land and sea, where the land meets the ocean. It is a place where people meet people. Lindesnes is a millennium site, which means it's a cultural and natural area of great historical, cultural and environmental value that is preserved and marked in a special way. Lindesnes is about navigation and maritime history as long as seafarers have existed. It's a war memorial, a hiking area, and an essential part of Norway's infrastructure. Lindesnes Lighthouse is a national lighthouse museum and protected cultural monument. It is one of the country's most popular tourist destinations, with around 100,000 visitors each year. Lindesnes is our identity, and everyone should know where Lindesnes is. Let's start here at the entrance. On the left-hand side you can see a part of the building that first houses the toilet, ticket booth and a small souvenir shop. On the main square you can see Fjellhallen. It was completed in 2004 and we are very proud to welcome you with such a hospitality and cozy architecture. Come inside. We'll go through a total of 6 exhibitions, the 2 first here. Fjellhallen is a unique experience where you can stop for a while. The first you will meet is our house in the cafe. Here you can buy something to eat or drink to quench your thirst. Here is a glimpse of our souvenir shop. We have everything that can give you good memories from Lindesnes and Norway. For example, Jackson sweaters, books, postcards and so on. We are now going through Highway 1, the exhibition that shows the Norwegian coastline. Many travelers sought safety here when the weather was too rough. Behind the technical details, we must remember that the ports were the heart and soul along the coast. The ports were a refuge for many ships, offering rest and entertainment, opportunities and dreams came through. Now the ports are industrialized and profit-orientated, without the human nuances. In the most popular outports, small villages grew up, and all vessels had to pay taxes to the moor. At one point, the state was responsible for 12,200 mooring facilities along the entire coast. Now we are going into an impressive room, Fjellhallen or the Mountain Hall. There are seats where you can rest your head and body. The hall is a year-round venue for events, lectures, exhibitions and performances. Our large screen will show you films about Norway's entire lighthouse history. You can watch short clips about monster waves or longer stories about the people from Sunnmøre who built the lighthouses along the coastline. The Norwegian coast has a greedy history with many shipwrecks. Ships has always needed to sail safely along our coast, and for countless years there has been a pilot service. Pilot 300 is our exhibition about the significance pilots have had and still have for coastal shipping. This exhibition shows 5 pilots from different time periods and places in Norway. In their own way, they tell the story of a pilot at work, with varying tools and working conditions, but always with competence and the most important tool. Together they give a cross-section of the pilot's service up to the present day. Finally, we look into the crystal ball and ask ourselves, what does the pilot do in the future. But just remember, the pilot is a guide who knows the way and shows strangers a safe way to shore. This is a sea pilot's boat. Look how small it is. But it takes on board all kinds of ship in all kinds of weather. Now we are passing through our cafe again, and we are going out and into world history. The lighthouses, information about them, the signs, oil spill contingency plans, information about them you can see straight ahead of us. This is also a space for events, for concerts, for exhibitions, and all kind of people uses this through summertime. We pass now in a moment by a harbor. There is also a kitchen garden. Here we have our own employed local master who conjures up food from seaweed and kelp. Lindesnes Lighthouse Museum has its own lighthouse bread. It's baked with a little seaweed flour and seawater, and it can be purchased in the Lighthouse Bakery, Bakerovnen, in the summer and served in Fjellhallen and Fyrgryta. And then we are going up and we'll take a little break in this hill. Here we are at the lighthouse keeper's outhouse, the garage as we call it. This is the view of the sea, is the beginning to become formidable. The open view towards the horizon is the main reason why many people visit us. The large building to the left is the assistant's residence. You can book half of it as a vacation rental and the other is occupied by the lighthouse keepers. And now you are seeing the lighthouse keeper's residence from the old times. It's the largest residence in the small community that existed here. We are now going into the exhibition Neset. Here we'll have good storytelling skills with fine lines, made descriptions of travels in Norway, a treasure for both historians, folklorists, but also for the general public. You will learn about the lighthouse history, the people that lived here, the king that ordered how the lighthouses should be built, the naval farers along the coastline and what they had to risk. The exhibition will teach you about how the lighthouses varied from candlelights through coal burners to kerosene, and then at least the electricity that came in 1915. You also get about the foghorn and how that protected seafarers in the mist. This is the craftsman that came and built many lighthouses along the Norwegian coastline. And you can see different pictures of how the history has been born through this. This is a model of a lighthouse with draft channels used to fire up the coal pot on the top. So now we are going furthermore to another exhibition. Inside the Red House here will you see an exhibition about the motor ship MS Palatia. On board this ship there were 999 Russian war prisoners. Allied forces dropped a torpedo. They thought they were German soldiers going northwest. And up on this steep hill there is a war memorial shaped like a bird. There is a hiking trail up to the monument where one can sit in silence and contemplate. The view is fantastic. The bird describes the small peace birds that the Russian prisoners of war made and stuck through the fences to exchange for food and clothing from Norwegian helpers. We are back to MS Palatia. There's a lifebuoy found in the sea, and the ship bell has also been retrieved and is hanging here. And we show a film of the wreck and the war grave, which the audience can watch. There's a picture of the ship and German soldiers photographed on board. On the way out, we can see an exhibition where the war witnesses are photographed and tell short stories about what marked them. 233 people survived, 955 people died. At the southernmost point of Norway, the Skagerrak and the North Sea meets. Seafarers came here because the Danish side was dangerous waters. The west side in Denmark is called Jammerbugt. Here you can see the weather station, and you can follow pretty steep steps up to the lighthouse top. From the same districts as we are in now, we had famous priest and historian Peder Clausen Friis. In the 1500s, he describes Lindesnes as a place all seafarers know. There are strong ocean currents and often dangerous winds. The combination of this has led to many shipwrecks. Historians call the ocean area from here to Lista a shipwreck district. The natural charts in the souvenir shop will tell you the local and location and the history. Now we are soon at the plateau where our 3 lighthouses show you the historical significance of Lindesnes. Today's lighthouse is 50.1 meters above sea level and shines 37 kilometers out to the sea. Take the trip up the tower and enjoy the view and weather. To the right is the foundation to the coal-burning lighthouse built in 1822. Notice the draft channels that provided wind power to the light-up fire. The cast iron tower from 1915 features a unique Fresnel lens from 1854 as the light source. The foghorn ensures the safety of the sailors between 1920 and 1987. Take a listen. Here the lighthouse history is gathered within a frame, from tallow candles to coal and electricity. We recommend you to go up in the tower. Lindesnes is known for its harsh weather. No days are the same here. On the way up to the tower you can take a look to other lighthouses in Norway and learn more about the history of the lighthouses along the coast. And remember to sign your name in the guest book. The stairs are steep, so be careful. But once you reach the top, the reward is this. The view is spectacular. You can see in all different directions. Now we are going to see the rest of the area and delve into more information. The first lighthouse was built in 1656 and was a failure. Tallow candles behind lead glass windows are not successful when it's always windy. King Frederick of Denmark revoked the privilege and Lindesnes remained dark until 1725. Then the light was lit in an open firepot with coal placed directly on the mountain. In 1822 the firepot was placed inside a closed lantern room on top of a masonry foundation with draft channels to ensure more even and economical burning. The smoke was released through an exhaust in the top of the lantern. We have made it easy for everyone to find their way home. On the compass rose you can see in all directions with a strong telescope, and the cities around the world are marked in the correct directions. As you may have noticed when we climbed the stairs to the lighthouse, there are fortifications around the entire area. During World War II, the occupying forces built the bunkers, artillery rooms and trenches. 400 German soldiers were stationed here. Not a single shot was fired, but the station was strategically important to ensure navigation for German vessels and exercise control over the enemy. The fortress at Lindesnes Lighthouse was established and operational from 1941 to 1943. The fortress was equipped with 4 French cannons, but in November 1943 they were moved to Mandal as the battery was highly vulnerable at Lindesnes. Also, Spangereid was considered a potential landing target in Allied attack. There were good beaches there, as well as good road connections for further advancement. Furthermore, the fortress at Lindesnes was equipped with a radar. It was dumped into the sea after the war and lies just off the cape. In these times, the trenches and artillery batteries, in contrast, are small spots to rest and engrave your name in the elements. A large part of the mountain facility has been restored and accessible to the public since 1992. Now we are walking through the tunnels that surround the large parts of the lighthouse. You can walk safely here and further into the bunkers and gun positions. The view is also spectacular. We always encourage guests to consider the weather and wind. It is strongly advised not to walk out on the rocks and near the sea. We normally have 6 different exhibitions every year, and the facilities are used as exhibition space. Here you can see the exhibition Norway's Lighthouses. Lindesnes Lighthouse had a permanent staff until 2003. Even though the lighthouse was officially decommissioned that year, there's still a lighthouse keeper on duty 24 hours a day. Lindesnes Lighthouse is the only lighthouse with a lighthouse keepers. In 2000, Lindesnes Lighthouse was chosen as the Millennium Site, and as a result, the new visitor center was built inside a mountain beneath the lighthouse station. Since the fall of 2008, the Lindesnes Lighthouse Museum has been included as one of the 5 museums in Norwegian Coastal Administration. We are soon at the end of our trip. I hope you enjoyed your information and the views. Welcome back to the shores of Lindesnes.